tune on the economy's status tonight, saying there is no cash crunch crisis in the government. National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u now says he was taken out of context, while his PS, Gov't, said the government has already paid out November and December salaries, asserting there is no cash crunch. But as Apollo Kamau reports, economic experts remain skeptical on the change of tune coming a day after the president said the economy is back on track.
A day after bullish President William Ruto told the nation the economy is back on track, having recovered from the danger of debt distress, the National Treasury, in a curious turn of events, has denied a cash crunch crisis existed in the first place, with Cabinet Secretary Professor Njuguna Ndung'u saying he was taken out of context. His Principal Secretary, Gov't, has also allayed fears of a liquidity crisis, saying the government has paid November salaries.
This issue of salary may have been misunderstood. Can I confirm to you that all salaries for the November month have been paid fully? I want everybody to know all salaries for the month of November have been fully settled. And we are on course towards settling for December as scheduled. So there should be no cause for alarm.
Most of the time I also see the papers, they analyze things nicely. They provide the right data, but they analyze things the wrong way.
Just last week, CS Dongo lamented before MPs how the government is paying salaries with arrears to avoid defaulting on loans which are falling due, especially the 3 or 5 billion shillings hero bond, which is due in June next year.
I can tell you, we are even having trouble with salaries. We are clearing salaries with arrears. Okay? You know, just imagine that. The first thing we can do, and you are familiar with this story, is that we cannot default on external debt because our credibility is going to be ruined. It takes the first charge.
Order, Honorable Senator.
So, what has changed in a span of 6 days after last week's walkout by senators over unpaid salaries for their staff for the past 2 months, and members of the National Assembly who stormed out of the chambers over NGCDF? Did the president's assertive speech on the economy force the National Treasury to change tune?
The president is the beacon of hope in the country, and he cannot come to on the national TV and tell people that the economy is not working, because if he does that, then he's telling us to sack him. Therefore, he has to come in on the national TV and tell us how things are working. But I think the question that we need to ask ourselves is, me and you as a common mwananchi, are we feeling the words of the president in our pockets, in our houses, and also in whatever we are doing in our businesses? And I think the answer is no.
Still, early last week, the Commission on Revenue Allocation, CRA, while appearing before the Budget Committee, warned that revenues, especially from taxes, are likely to continue dropping. The National Treasury and the President in his Jamhuri Day speech did not say how much out of the external and internal debts the government has paid, including the commitment by the President to pay off the first installment of the Eurobond, amounting to 45.8 billion shillings this December. Kenya's public debt portfolio is currently at 10.2 trillion shillings.
We have a problem, an economic problem in the country. And one of the challenges that we have is debt that has to be paid. And I think every coin that the government is making is going to the debt.
Economic experts and the opposition have faulted the government for its loan dalliance with the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. The two Bretton Woods institutions are largely behind the new taxes in the Finance Act. Apollo Kamau, TV 47.
The push and pull continues.